This is Knox. This is Maya. They both have, they actually have a puppy together, or had puppies, and they live in the same house. And this is a different guardian's dog, and this is the guardian who's filming his dog. One of the main problems that I got called into is because of his resource guarding problem. Now, he resource guards a location, in this case specifically the kitchen. So I'm going to try to recreate this, but even if I can't recreate it, I'm going to go through the steps that you need to go through to stop him from guarding the resource. Resource guarding is typically, although it looks very aggressive, is not an aggressive behavior. It is a natural behavior for dogs to have in the wild because they have to protect their resources. If he has some food and she comes up and he's hungry, she's trying to take his food. This is why it's so bad for us to feed dogs off the dinner table, because to be within 7 feet of another human or another animal that's eating is a way of challenging for their stuff. And that's what resource guarding is. The dog thinks you're trying to take its stuff. Now, if I invite the dog over and give it food off my plate, I'm inviting it to do something that the dog knows is wrong, and it sends all sorts of mixed signals. So if you do have a dog at home, I promise you, if you were eating a plate of poop, the dog would be just as interested in the poop as whatever you got on your plate. They want it because it's yours, not because they really need to have it. Also, a lot of human food has onion and garlic, and those are toxic to dogs, and the worst way to get it is a little bit every day. It'd be better for them to eat a whole onion, and that would be horrible. All right, so back to the resource guarding. Resource guarding is a natural thing, but it's the dog's perception that the human is trying to take something. In this case, the dog thinks it's the kitchen, or the dog is guarding the kitchen. Now, it could be for a couple reasons. Is he fed in the kitchen?
Yeah.
He's fed in the kitchen, so it could be related to that. Now, the way that he described it, I don't think that she is actually a resource guarder, but she growls when she's eating food, he approaches.
Yep.
And that is a very normal approach. If I'm changing clothes and somebody tried to come into my bedroom, I'll be like, hey, somebody's in here. I'm in the bathroom, and somebody tries to, hey, I'm using this. We want personal space.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's normal for us to have a little bit of an outburst. A growl is the opposite of aggression. It's a warning. Don't keep doing what you're doing, or you're going to push me into doing something. So I don't think what she's doing is resource guarding. If she is doing resource guarding, you can just use the same exact approach that I'm going to use here. The concept is we want to teach him that when a human approaches, they're not going to take your stuff. Matter of fact, they're going to make your situation better. Are you coming up here? Can you go downstairs for a second? Just wait. We're in the middle of quick. If you give me about 3 minutes, we're filming something real quick. Thank you. Sorry, we had somebody downstairs, and obviously we set off the dogs. I want to focus on this, and if they have different energy, it's not going to be as accurate. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm just going to, and you can probably stay seated there. I'm going to just ask him to go in the kitchen just by throwing a treat in there, let him go in here. He usually gets this way when he's in the kitchen and the gate is closed. Now, the guardian, he can't even, somebody's going to touch the gate, and the dog gets aggressive. So if he's, I can see him right now, his pupils are not, sit. His pupils are not dilated. His hackles are not up, which is one of the things the guardian indicated. Tail goes up. Usually the ears are forward. There's a stiffness to the dog. He's either breathing really heavy or holding his breath. Those are all warning signs. I'm trying to say, back the hell off. We usually don't even recognize these warning signs because most humans don't know how to read a dog's body language. So and I'm going to put you out of the picture slightly, sweetheart. There you go. So let's say that he is in guarding mode, which he clearly isn't now. Because you can tell his body language looks nice and relaxed, and he's sitting. And usually a dog's resource guarding is when he's standing. That's more of a commanding position. So what I want to do is teach him that when I approach, I'm not going to take your stuff or take your kitchen in this case. I'm going to make your situation better. So what I'm going to do is, actually, I'm going to have you get up, and if you go to that sit where I was sitting on the couch, I'm going to go back and forth. It'll be a little bit easier for you to look at it from this perspective. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to approach. Now there's a certain distance that I'm going to get to where he's going to feel threatened. So you need to identify what that is. Don't just slowly stop, because if I go really slowly like this, he's going to think that I'm trepidatious and nervous, and that will make him more assertive about it. Mm-hmm. So basically what I'm going to do is just walk up, and when I notice he gets stiff or he starts barking, or he's, one of those indicators I mentioned earlier happens, I'm going to stop. So let's say that this is the distance, about 5 feet away. So what I would do is I would walk away, have a high-value training treat. I have chicken liver training treats here. I'm going to walk up. If it's 5 feet, I'm going to stop way before that. I want to stop and create a positive association well before he feels the need to guard. So I'm going to approach, maybe from here. I did one toss where it actually went behind the refrigerator. I couldn't do that if I tried 100.
That's all right.
So he got up and took the treat. I'm waiting for him to look. Now I turn to walk away. So when a human approaches, they're not going to take my kitchen or my bone or my food or whatever the thing is. They're going to pay a little tribute and then they're going to walk away. So at first, maybe I can only approach at 6 feet. Stop, and I throw the treat. Good catch. And I turn and walk away. Now, ideally, you would like to do this from different angles. We have 2 entrances into the kitchen, so I might practice it with this one, that one, and if I wait to go outside, I might practice from the outside door as well. You want to vary the distances, the angles, and the speed. So one time I might go straight ahead, next time I might come over here, have a little bit more of an angle, next time I might have an angle like from the camera to here. The problem is as he goes there, he's going to have less, as a human moves there, he's going to have less and less visual acuity of the person. The idea is we want him to see us approaching over and over again. We stop before he reacts, toss him a treat, and then turn and walk away. So what you should see is each time I can get a little bit closer and he's a little bit more relaxed. And eventually, like this is about his line before, or what I came up with arbitrarily. If this was his line before, after you've done this, this might take you a week or 2. It depends on how much you practice it. When you practice it, just have like 5 or 6 treats, walk up, approach, throw, walk away. Walk up, approach, throw, walk away. And then eventually you're going to get to the point where you can get all the way up here, and he's not lunging, he's not growling or anything. He's waiting for you to give him another nice treat. All right, so basically you want to approach from different angles. Now, if she does this with food, when she's eating food, I would have somebody have him on the leash. Let's say she's eating food at the end of this hallway. I would have somebody walking him, and we are going to, again, identify what the distance is that she starts growling. So if she starts growling when I get to this point, next time I would do it, I have him on a leash, and come up here with him on a leash, throw a treat. Now, in her case, a human can be next to her, she doesn't have a problem with it. So we might have another human over there that just drops a treat for us. And then as soon as she takes the treat, we turn and we walk away. And we do it from different angles. Now, confined inside area is going to amplify things. This is a hallway. That's probably not an ideal situation to do this at for her to be eating in, because everything's being more amplified because she doesn't have as much room to move. So she's going to warn us further away. Also, if he's barking, he's all bouncy, jumping up, she's going to growl when he's at a greater distance. So we don't want to do it when he's all agitated or worked up. If we have to, if he's full of beans, take him for a long walk. Bring him in, let him recover, and then when he's nice and calm, then walk him in. I talk a lot about putting a dog in position to succeed. Simply making sure he has appropriate energy can help put us in a both-in position to be more successful. All right, now that's basically the approach. So you want to be systematic. I would like maybe write, the guardian here has a job where he has to be very precise and analytical. So you might want to actually come up with a process. I'm going to approach from 12 feet at this angle, or 0 degree. I'm going to try and approach from 10 feet at 5 degrees. And so we're going to have different, and we're going to keep on playing around with it. Play around with the variables until, like I said, you can get right up here, toss in the treat, and walk away. And he's not growling, his hackles are not up, he's not breathing heavy, he's not, his ears are not forward, he's not baring his lips or any of those things. If you do this properly, you will fix the problem permanently. The problem is most people go too far too quickly. So if the boundary is here, and I push, I stop here first time, here, and I push past it and he reacts, I kind of invalidated a lot of the work. The whole point is to help him practice doing this where he feels completely calm. Careful with your finger. Once he starts reacting, it's not going to work as well, anywhere near as well. It'll be like 10% as effective as it would be. So you have to take note of how close you can get. And again, it's going to depend on what's going on. If your roommates are downstairs and they're doing a lot of crazy hammering and stuff, that's going to put him on edge. If there's construction outside, also going to put him on edge. So take stock of what else is going on so we make sure that we have the best testing environment or best practice environment for him. Now, sometimes I might actually have to go in the kitchen. And if he's growling, if I force my way in there, when a dog's resource growling, it's not aggression, but they will absolutely bite you if you don't heed their warnings. They make it very clear. So what I might do is, if I've got to go in the kitchen, I might take a treat and throw it further away. And that gives me the ability to open the gate, and then I would walk away. Now he's only guarding and he's in the kitchen, correct? Mm-hmm. So if I do that and open the gate and then I walk away, I'm not in a threatening position. And then and if he doesn't automatically come out, the next time I do it, I would throw 1 or 2 treats over there, and throw them in different places so it takes him a minute to get them. Then I might drop a couple of treats here, make it very obvios so you can see them, and then again, I walk far away. Now, if he comes over here, takes these treats and goes right back into guarding, and he just stays at the door growling, then next time I might toss the treat, one here, one there, gradually lead him further and further away. So the idea is, again, when the human approaches, they're not here to take your stuff, they're going to make your situation better. And instead of me challenging you in this sort of situation, I'm going to throw some treats around to get you to come around and move away from the area so I can open it up and then have you come out of the room so he doesn't feel the need to guard. And never forcefully take something away from him when they're a resource guarder. That will absolutely make it worse. Or force your way into the kitchen. Because now he's like, yep, they are trying to take my stuff. They just proved to me they're trying to take my stuff, so I'm going to have to be more aggressive about it. So instead, we want him to understand the human's going to approach in a very calm way. They're going to make my situation better. I got my original stuff back. I like it when humans approach me. So these are some tips and tricks that you can use if you have a dog that's a resource guarder for a location or for food.